We're back. We're back for part two. I don't know where it left off, but basically, what I see in the coaching industry is people get into that weird and awkward moment when they're on the call and they're talking about money because they're not congruent with what's coming out of their mouth, or they've got some money stuff from the past that's getting all in there, and they're just not comfortable talking about money. They might not even be comfortable looking at their bank account, all these different things. So I help coaches when money enters the conversation. So where do I want to start? I guess a little about me is, yeah, I'm like, let's just talk about little things that I'm into. So I'm into human design. I'm into astrology. For those of you who are, I will tell you what I am so you can get an idea of what I'm like. I am a Scorpio sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Cancer rising, which means I can come, say hi, whoever's here. I got disconnected because I don't know what happened. It was just the internet. So maybe these trail talks on this platform won't work. But anyway, we'll see. So anyway, I'm into astrology. I'm into human design. I'm into anything that's really unconventional. I've never been married, not had kids. Um, and I've, you know, sold everything I own 4 times. I've lived in 6 different countries on 4 different continents. And I started doing this when I was in my mid-20s. That was the first time that I did that. I'm into human design, self-taught. There's a great woman who has all her programs, I think, still for sale, Taylor Eaton. If you don't know her, you should go check her out if you're into human design and you want to learn it for yourself. I've never felt so seen in my life when I got into human design. I am a 6'2", so I am the role model and the hermit or the natural. And I'm a generator. So that's my human design. Twos are just naturals. They're so natural at what they do that they don't know what it is that they're amazing at. I figured that out. And the six, goes through like a lot of experimentation for the first 30 years. And then from 30 to 50, they get up onto the rooftop and they're observing and pulling everything, connecting all the dots and everything like that. And then by 50, and I'm 49, I'm going to be 50 in October, we hit our wisdom years. And we've got a lot to share, which is why I created Trail Talks for coaches to come in. I've been coaching in some capacity since 2013. I was coaching cycling and nutrition and then got into what it is that I do now. And oh my gosh, that journey was like health coaching, business coaching, money coaching. Like I've done everything. I wouldn't call it coaching. I've been breaking people through on things where they've got upper limits and stuck on. So the next thing is astrology. I'm into astrology as well. I'm a Scorpio sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Cancer rising. Thank God for the Cancer rising. My Cancer sort of softens the intensity of my Scorpion nature. And my thing is that I'll go as deep as you'll let me. I have no problems talking about any of the what do we want to hot topics? No problem sharing any of those. No problem sharing and hearing anything. Like the deepest, like that's what happens when people work with me. Next thing they know, they're telling me things that they tell me that they haven't told anybody, which is really normal for me. So anyway, so I'll just leave it there for that. We'll see how this goes. I was thinking that I would come on live for like 30 days. Of course, I'm going to do it unfiltered, unscripted, all those kinds of things. I think we need real and raw right now because we've got a lot of things. This is me. This is not an AI generated thing. I hope that I know I have my earbud in, so there could be a delay in my voice, but that makes it even more real, I think. I just think with AI and all those kinds of things, I think, a lot of people are turning to ChatGPT for advice and different things like that, which I have as well. And that's cool. But I think we're like teetering on this edge of people being like, I actually want to talk to someone, like talk to someone. It doesn't have to be in person, although there's a lot of people starting to do in-person things, I feel like there's this thing of like, I want another human on the other end of the line with me who's actually experienced what it is that I've experienced and can like hold space for me. And I guess, hold space is very coach talk. And I'm really trying to get away from the coach talk because, even though I help coaches so they get that talk, but holding space is like, holding the energy of a container for someone to, like creating a safe, judgment-free space for someone to open up and tell you things that they haven't told people before. Um, and that's what creating a safe space is. And it's about not judging people. And, that is just so important. And so that's why I created Trail Talks because, um, I realized like I'm just going to be transparent because that's just who I am. On Trail Talks, it was like, I think for people, it's a nice to have, not a have to have because it is paid. It's $25 a month. And so I was like, okay, what is it that I would have wanted when I was a coach? Oh, I have a feeling my hand was over the speaker, but whatever. This is first times doing things after a long hiatus is learning, right? Um, what is it? Practice, not perfection. Um, and, um, and so that's why I created Trail Talks. And I was like, why did I really create that? Like, what was missing for me? And it was kind of like, I would have loved to have had someone who had more experience than me, where I could like ask a question and then they would answer it like for real, for real. And it wasn't actually that long ago. I think I've posted about this where I was here and I was like feeling super isolated, super lonely. And when you're an entrepreneur and a coach, let's just say a coach or any entrepreneur, if you're watching this, it can be really lonely because it feels like nobody really gets what you do. Sometimes you're in the mess of it all and you don't really get what you do and you're trying to convey this thing and you want the support of your family and your friends and it's not coming in the way that you want it and all those kinds of things. So it can just feel like super lonely. There's no other way to say it. And so I was like, how about I create something Trail Talks? Hey TJ, how are ya? That's my cousin. Um, and so I thought, why don't I create this thing? I've lived a pretty colorful life, unconventionally. Like I said before in the other live video, it's like no kids, never married, lived in 6 different countries, sold everything 4 times, lived on 4 different continents, built a business while I was in the midst of all of this, changing niches every time I'd turn my head. And it's been a journey and I have a lot of wisdom to share on it. All the mistakes that I made, having that human design 6 profile, if those, you're constantly making mistakes and course correcting. I mean, that's life, but, made a lot of mistakes in coaching. There's a lot of things that I would tell coaches specifically, um, not telling, no one likes to be told what to do. Like, no one does, not in anything. No one likes to be sold to. No one likes any of that stuff. So it's like, how can we do this a bit different? Like, how can we be more authentic, more real, and just like show up, you know? And so, yeah, so Trail Talks was born and it was mostly inspired by, my marketing coach, Tad Hargraves. I will shout him from the mountaintops. He helped me with my niche. Um, I've worked with so many niching people and downloaded so many freaking things and they would just send me, like I would lose my mind. And every time I listened to his videos, it was like so grounding, someone so real saying like, this doesn't happen overnight and not shaming you that if you don't have something in place in your coaching business, that it's like, that it's never going to happen for you. It's not true. It takes time. I've been floundering around with trying to find my niche for like 7 years. Finally have it. you know, I help coaches stay confident when money enters the conversation so they can get more yeses because I deeply struggled with this. And that's the thing about Trail Talks and about Get More Yeses, the pricing breakthrough for coaches is like, I'm as real as they come. And I'm not going to pretend that things haven't happened in that area of life. uh, for me. So if you want something real, you can come join me there. But I think that's enough. I think that's enough for today. We've actually learned from this. We've got a good connection now. So this has been good. I kind of dropped off. So this is two parts. One of the things that I find a little challenging is naming Facebook Lives after I've gotten off because I go on such tangents all over the place. Um, so maybe we'll just call them. I have to have a name for them, and then if people like me, then they'll tune in. If they're not interested in what I have to say, they won't. We can just keep it easy, you know? Anyway, I'm going to love yous and leave yous. I'm going to continue my walk home, hit the grocery store, going to meditate on a couple of things, and we will see you. I think I'm going to do this for 30 days. Can't promise you my energy is going to be like this every single time, because, you know, there's ups and downs of life and things going on, but I'm going to do it. So maybe we just say day 1 of 30, done and dusted. Okay. Bye. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'll just take a second and see if anyone hops on here. I can't remember the last time that I went live on Facebook. I've more been live on Instagram. Anyway, we'll just wait a second. And, well, let's not wait a second. Let's just get started. I was walking. I am currently in Ecuador, and so this is kind of near the start of the trail where I walk, if that's the actual trail. There's lots of graffiti and stuff like that. Anyway, I thought I would sort of reintroduce myself. I have a lot of new people who have come onto my Facebook, whether they're just following me or I'm connected with them because I'm in different groups with different people and stuff like that. But I wanted to reintroduce myself because I know there's a lot of you who have been following me for a really long time. And I know that, say hi if you hop on here. I can't. Oh, you know what sucks is I don't have my glasses. Anyway, I have a feeling that this is Michael. Hi, Michael. Um, yeah, so I know a lot of people have been following me for a really long time. They've been following me from the days when I sold everything I owned, bought a van, gold member, and a teardrop trailer called Foxy Cleopatra, and threw my bikes that were worth as much as my van into my van and took off and lived out of it for 6 months. And probably even before that, when I was, you know, sold everything I owned when I lived in Vancouver. And I went to I went to Guatemala first and then Costa Rica and then Panama. So my life has been full of adventures. Someone asked me today, like, how did you get to Ecuador? And so I thought, you know what? It's been a while since I've come live on to here, and hey, Michael, I see your high page. It's like a blur, you know. But I thought I would come on here and just tell you a bit about my story. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I guess it's unconventional. One of the things that kind of came to me last week, and I guess before I get started, I'll just tell you like what I'm up to now, who I help, what I help them with, and then we'll get into my story, which a lot of people will probably watch anyway. Um, but basically, I'm a breakthrough specialist. I've been a breakthrough specialist since July 2019. That's how long I've been doing it. I love to just parachute into someone's life and um, get underneath the problem, pull it out by the root, and then they go live their lives. That's kind of my thing. Long coaching packages and stuff like that's not really my jam. And so anyway, now I help coaches stay confident when money enters the conversation so they can get more yeses. This really comes down to when we get onto that discovery call, clarity call, sales call, whatever you want to call it, whatever you've got it named, because I know everyone likes to get unique with these things. I think we should just call them what they are. Whenever we say the money part, or we're thinking about the money part, or the client says something to us like they're kind of on a budget right now before we even get to the part where we're saying about the money, we can get into the wallets of our clients, but then also we can lose confidence in that moment, because a lot of the times what I see is happening